were at Amazon for a very long time.
Yep.
And I think, if you wanted to, and then the default path would have been, let me continue being an executive level engineering leader at
Yep.
these top companies for the next 10, 20, 30 years. You easily could have done that, but you chose to leave that environment and semi-retire. And now I think you're doing a lot more teaching and coaching. And
Yep.
so I'm curious about if you could explain what led to that decision to leave, and then, how you are enjoying this new life that you have.
Yeah. So what led to the decision to leave is I found over time with that team of 800, I was developing lots of people. So I was getting them to director level. I was getting them to principal engineer, and I took enormous satisfaction from that. And I realized in my career, I had shifted from satisfaction at building things to helping satisfaction building people, basically, because I would invest 2 or 3 years of my time and I would take a person and help them to the next level in their life. And that's what I shipped. I shipped a better, happier person. And I wanted to scale that. So I actually, within Amazon, since you want the real answer, I went to Amazon and said, look, I would like to work on people development at Amazon. I think we could do so much more with our talent. We're not doing enough to build our talent. And Amazon yawned. And I went to the VP of Human Resources 2 different times in my time there and asked, is there a role for me to work on talent development? And they said, well, we need some HR software. There's a role for you to be our software guy, which was just putting me back in an engineering role, right? It wasn't letting me own anything. It was just, you can be the builder. And so I went outside. I said, look, I can do this better on my own. And so now I'm working on how to scale that. I wish I had Amazon's leverage behind me, because, Amazon could have put me in the ear of whatever 50,000 engineers very quickly. I've had to earn that attention, but that's okay.
I'm curious. You've been doing this for 3 years. When I was at Meta, there'd be a dashboard. Most leaders will have like a dashboard. Let me go check that every week. That KPI, is it going up or down or whatever direction it should be going in? Is it going in that direction? So do you live your life like that now as you think about this mission to empower people and make them happier and grow more? Or is it more of a passion thing that you don't have that level of regimented dashboards behind it?
I do have those dashboards, right? The metrics I look at are number of people enrolling in my classes and number of people following me on LinkedIn and how those are growing. But it's because I enjoy those and I can use them to fine tune my work. I would do this work for 100 people. I want to do it for 100 million, but I enjoy it enough that I'm not going to stop what I'm doing if the metrics don't go right. But the metrics not going right will be a signal that there must be something that's off. The difference is when you work for a company, you can get fired for the metrics not going the right way. I just get yet another attempt to retune because I'm my own boss. Nobody's going to fire me other than my customers.
And then last question here. And again, if we can cut this out, but I'm curious also about, would you say that you're post-economic here in the sense that you'd had this long, great career at Amazon and now the money part is very much on the back burner? Or is there a component to that dashboard we talked about where people paying is an indication of market pull, market demand. And that's a sign that you're in the right path. How do you think about the money part of it now that you're not in big tech?
Yeah. And I actually don't mind if you share this because or not, it's up to you. But the way I think about money first is I want to reach as many people as possible. And the way to do that is do things for free. So I give away tons of content on my daily writing on LinkedIn for free. But some things are very specialized and they're going to people who have high capacity to pay. Senior managers at a Meta, M2s at Meta have plenty of money to pay for training that's valuable to them. I don't want to be stupid and not take money for things that are high value from people who can afford to pay. And so I look at that. What I found, I coached some people for free and they didn't value it the same way as people who paid. When you put your own money in, you're now paying attention. And so I only want to spend my limited time with people who are actually motivated to take advantage of it. if someone just comes to me and wants free coaching, they're going to value it at what they paid. If someone pays me for a class, they're going to be more engaged in it. And I want that engagement. So is it a pull signal? Yes, that they're willing to pay, but it's also a filter. If you do something for free, you get a bunch of tire kickers. And I'd rather invest more deeply in a smaller set of people who are willing to put some money where their mouth is.
Yeah. Actually, that is oddly similar to how I think about Taro too, is that you will get a bunch of tire kickers or worse, trolls. I don't know if you are active on Blind or the other platform that's just anonymous, like completely free. I was on
Twitch. Twitch is full of trolls.
Yeah. And like, I think having a bit of friction, and money is a very effective type of friction, really does get you a lot more of a deliberate type of person who actually wants to learn. And I think when you have that culture of people who are deliberate and engaged and wanting to be there, it can actually help everyone, not just the person who paid.
Yeah, I agree 100% that there's another piece of this, which is a confirmation bias, right? Which is once people pay, they're motivated to put more into it. Like they have convinced them, they have to justify their investment to themselves. They're going to be less trollish and less critical, because if they're critical of the thing they bought, they're actually judging themselves. I bought into this community and now I think it sucks. Well, I must have, by definition, I made a bad decision. And people are hesitant to do that. So they will give it an honest try before they roll over to criticism. Now, if it sucks, they'll still say it sucks, but they'll give it an honest taste before they go there.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Free stuff is easy to criticize, right?
Yeah. And there's something of the endowment effect, right? Endowment meaning like I put something into it and now it kind of feels like, okay, I am part of it, or I owe something to it because I've like invested time, money, attention into this thing.
Yep.
Okay, Ethan, this has been really valuable. I feel like the vast majority of people, like especially the individual contributor engineers, don't have access to someone like you. So I appreciate you taking the time to share a lot of your wisdom.
I hear a lot. And that's why, so I know I'm interrupting you a little, but that's why I do this, is because it's true. Like I would have killed to have a mentor like me. And it's not because that's not me just bragging about me. It's to have any mentor at this level available when I was an entry-level engineer or first-level manager. It just wasn't there. And so maybe some of the stuff I say is brilliant, maybe some of it isn't, but you at least have access to an opinion and some of that insight and some of the perspective. And people don't have it. And so the great thing about the internet, though, is I can scale it. Like tens of thousands of people can listen to this conversation over time. And so, sure, it took us time to create it and you time to edit it, but now it can be scaled out over years of payback.
Yes, exactly. That is the goal, I think, for both of us. So I think I really appreciate you doing this. I feel like I'm a fan. I'm a big believer in what you're doing. It's pretty much what I'm doing all day, every day as well. To wrap up then, where should I point people to? Where do you want people to learn more about your work and your teaching?
Yeah, the best places to find me are on LinkedIn, where I'm Ethan Evans VP, and at my Substack. So Level Up with Ethan Evans on Substack.com. Those are the two places.